Hops and Monsters. We're gonna we have a huge group here today, so let's start with that. I'm Charlie.
I'm Ben.
We are the hosts. We have our man J-Man in the house.
Yo, what's up, man?
I remember J-Man.
Back attack.
And we've got some new friends.
We've got
Carl,
Trash Carls in the house.
and Carly. Yeah, hi guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Carly, welcome to the club. The first lady. We were getting requests for that, so we're happy to oblige. We're going to be talking about survival horror tonight, specifically Resident Evil. That's all on our minds. We've been playing the new one. We've been thinking about the old ones. We've been thinking about the movies. It's the 20th anniversary, so let's just do it.
Yep. But before that, we got to talk about our experience.
Well, before that, we've just spent the last hour doing something very not Resident Evil, playing some VR. Yeah. How'd you like that,
PlayStation VR. It's legit. Man.
It was
I'm
fun.
sold on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Disneyland last week and did the Star Tours. This has got that beat 100%.
Really?
Yeah. This, the Star Tours.
You must have updated it since the 80s.
You're in a group with all the people, and it takes an hour to wait in line. This one, you were in the cockpit on your own. We were flying the X-Wing. I don't know.
This was like Rogue
What'd you guys
One,
think?
X-Wing.
Carl, you played it. What happened? It was fine, huh?
Everything that you would want it to be.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
I thought it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be exceptionally good.
It was great. Yeah,
5 stars across the board.
Looking at that's the future. So we didn't play the VR Resident Evil yet, but that's coming.
But we've got a plan for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna scare the shit out of you.
I'm drinking some Dead Guy from Rogue. This is a Oregon beer. It's a nice IPA or a heavy lager. Jason, what you got?
Hop Cooler. God, I'm going to butcher the name again. Man. What's the company?
Ninkasi.
Ninkasi. It's from Eugene, Oregon. It's a citrus IPA.
This is also
very tasty. Got a punch to
Very
it. But
citrusy. You can taste the orange.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you're a Blue Moon man, right?
Yeah, I like light beer. I mean, I'm a Belgian
I have to take
guy.
you to task for bringing over crap beer to my
Blue
house
Moon
the other
man.
night for Resident
Dude, come on.
No, it's fine. Oh, there goes my laptop.
There goes my gun.
Okay. Blue Moon
Sorry.
was okay. It was better than I remembered. That was probably the first time in about 10 years I had.
And I totally
Blue Moon.
knew you
Really?
would do that when I said, "Oh, just bring over whatever you want to drink, man." I knew it was going to
I'm
be
just
that.
simple, man. I don't know. I'm a simple
All
guy.
right. Well, what do you got, Ben, Mr. Connoisseur?
Oh yeah, I'm all about the cider. This is
of course.
This is a limited release by Sonoma Cider. It's a breakfast cereal cider called the Jacks,
Okay.
and I think it's supposed to be like reminiscent of Apple Jacks, breakfast cereal.
That makes sense.
It sort of, it doesn't taste like that initially, but when it lingers on your tongue for a bit, you can kind of taste this. You can envision this milky bowl of Apple Jacks.
I got one of those over
It kind
here
of had
too.
like a cinnamon taste to it, too.
Yeah,
It's weird because it's after you wait a minute and then you take a sip, it like the flavor really comes back.
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sugary, milky. Is it got that kind of after cereal?
It has a mead feeling
Okay.
because you can really taste the honey in there.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Hence
very
the
reminiscent,
cinnamon.
actually. Aunt, remember we were at Taps the other night, and we had this honey mead called Killer Zombie, I think it was what it was called.
Now that sounds good.
Yeah, you got to go to Taps just to try that. And then
Where is Taps?
Taps is in Petaluma in the Golden Eagle Shopping Center.
Okay.
Across
Pretty
from
good
Dempsey's, next to
Nice.
the river.
Yeah, right on the river.
Excellent.
There.
Yeah,
Very
next
nice.
time you're in P-Town, hit me up and we'll head down there.
I will.
Yeah, I can't wait for that train to start running so I can
Just hop on the
get
train,
a ride
come
down to Petaluma and
take a
get
tour of the
tanked
bars
and
and-
come back. Yeah.
Do they have an ETA on that?
Oh, it keeps getting pushed back. It's maybe
There's
There's still
late
test
spring.
trains right now at this
Yeah,
point.
they.
The thing that sucks is they keep testing the damn thing. I think it's like actually
Doesn't it
going.
go right by your house? Are you super
It goes by
annoyed
my house so much, and I hear that damn train like
You
every
can hear
day,
it,
like
yeah.
5 times a day. I hear that
you
fucking
hear the
train.
whistle.
So
Yeah, you
often
hear it.
you'll never
I feel like
notice
I'm
it.
living in the 1800s with the fucking trains going. And the thing is that they're just waiting for all the stations to be built. So once they're all built, then people can go on them. But I think they're just testing them. The drivers, they got to make sure they don't kill people. So
Yeah, I'm almost
That would be
surprised
preferred.
no one's been hit yet by a train because they do keep going by so much. It's
Oh,
like,
some drunk dude's gonna fall asleep on the tracks, and they'll have to shut it down for weeks at a time to make sure no one does that. And
come on.
what was
I want
that
my
squish
drinking
sound,
train.
man? I'm trying to get to San Rafael, and I just heard something.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
heard did we drive over a bump? What was that?
And Carl, what are you drinking?
I am actually drinking Milk Money vodka since I can't drink beer as a celiac, unfortunately. And this is a New Zealand vodka distilled entirely from cow's milk.
Wow.
So I'm basically just drinking alcoholic milk.
Wow.
Damn, that's
Does it
crazy.
taste like milk?
That is from cow's
No, not at
milk?
all. It tastes like a really
Straight
clean,
vodka.
It doesn't.
good vodka.
Rubbing alcohol, it's got that flavor to it.
No, not at all.
I feel like something tasting like cow's milk probably not a good thing. And well, I guess they do White Russians, but vodka
Yeah, that would
tasting
be a
like
nice
milk.
pairing.
There is a vodka. It's cheaper than rubbing
Pre-made.
alcohol to buy. I think it's called Taka.
Oh, yeah, that's
Talk.
If you want to buy cheap rubbing alcohol, that'll work in a pinch.
I got some Sonoma Brothers vodka recently. That's very good. But the bottle is too big for the cabinet, so it has to just
It just sits in
sit
a
out
corner
on the
collecting
counter.
There.
dust.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that?
Yeah, I keep trying to
More
like, fit it
vodka
in
than you
somewhere.
would
It's
ever
like,
need
well, I
in your
guess
life.
we gotta
You got a
take care of
lifetime
this.
supply
Yeah.
of vodka, Charlie.
I didn't think about that. I don't know.
You know what I miss in that restaurant in Petaluma, Graziano's, that had the chilled vodka bar?
Yeah, we went in that. That was really
We
cool.
tried that for someone's birthday a couple
That
years
was
ago.
my mom's birthday.
Right. And you had these big fur coats you had to put on to go in there.
Oh, was it like an ice bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it
like
was
you go in this
totally- it was
room.
chilled to, like, 30
it's
degrees
not
or
that
something.
big, but you have to wear the fur coat to get in there. And it's like
It's not that cold. You just have to wear the fur coat.
Yeah.
Like they just.
it's just
we
very
want to
like
see you
you
in
know
the coat. Yeah.
stylish. Like I want to drink in style.
Absolutely.
So all the vodkas they had in there was just like amazing.
Looks like a Russian ice cave.
They had like Fruit Loops vodka, all this stuff. Like I just cannot even think of. I'm like, oh
There
my
was
God.
a vodka in a Crystal Skull bottle. I believe it was made by Dan Aykroyd, or at least he owns the company. Crystal Head Vodka, I
Okay.
believe.
Cool.
It was pretty good.
Dan Aykroyd.
I'm not really into vodka, but it kind of made me want to start.
Right. You're like, well, I like fur coats.
Yeah.
I should get into
Vodka
this.
in the wintertime, tequila in the summertime. I'll roll with that.
There you go. All right. We got our drinking in, and we're talking Resident Evil. I guess this came up because, Jason, you brought over the new one the other night. We were all playing that.
Well, he was playing it. We were experiencing
We were
it.
watching it. Yeah, we were telling you, go right, go left. No, that
Very
hallway. That
confusing.
hallway. Which is the fun of Resident Evil. But this was a first person. Is this the first time Resident Evil?
Yeah, I think it's the very
true,
first
like,
time that
first
Resident Evil
person?
has been in first person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was actually a first person on the PS2. That it wasn't a very popular release. I can't remember the name.
There
of it
was
right now.
like a shooter. It was like one of
Yeah,
those
like a
rail
light
shooter
gun
guns.
game. Yeah,
I
types,
was gonna
but
say, actually, now I remember.
it was
this,
like
a rail
where it
shooter
was like
kind
a
of thing.
cheat, like go around shoot zombies, but it wasn't story driven. It's like basic rail shooter.
Well, I was doing some research. Actually, the first Resident Evil, they were looking at first-person shooter as an option for the gameplay before they kind of went with their third.
And so finally, after
three-dimensional
6
third-person.
episodes, they finally decided to roll that
So they
out.
go back to that, yeah, yeah. They were looking at, but they liked the idea of the corner where you couldn't see around the corner. You'd have to have your character move up and around, and then boom, there you'd be in the hallway with 3 zombies coming at you or whatever. But yeah, it's a zombie game. I think it's growing up, I don't think there was ever a horror game like this before Resident Evil. Not that I can remember. I mean, playing Nintendo and Zelda, there was Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That was a fun
on Super
one.
Nintendo, right?
But that was a fun,
Yeah.
kind of silly game
Well,
where
does
you had
Doom
a
count?
squirt gun and stuff. I don't
Yeah,
think
very cartoony.
I don't think there was ever really a horror game of that
Well, I mean,
level.
like one of the older ones.
Splatterhouse.
But I was just about to
Sure.
say that
House
Splatterhouse.
of the Dead. That was on rails.
Yeah, but that, we're talking earlier.
Yeah, that was probably about the same time though. But I mean, but a game that enveloped you in that environment like that, and that didn't give you the clues.
Yeah, you never hear Doom being described as a survival horror.
Right. Yeah.
Arguably, it could be.
Doom. I know. I was thinking about Doom, but Doom, and I think the thing for me with the survival horror is like you don't get enough ammo to just shoot your way out. You don't get enough supplies or health. You know,
Then
there's-
Doom
there's,
fits the
there's
bill.
no, there's
I
no
was always
turkey
running out
under
of
the
ammo for
trash
that damn
can.
shotgun.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Resident Evil is the first game where you had so much limitations that you kind of had to
You
figure
had
out
to
a new
combine
way.
items in your inventory. And you had to,
Manage your resources.
What did you think,
Yes.
though? I mean, what did you guys think the first time you played it? The very first game? Because I played Resident Evil 2 before I played 1.
Me too. I still haven't.
And I
played
didn't
one.
really know much about 1. Then I went back and I played 1. It was like a whole different experience because basically you're all inside a mansion. Where in 2
Right.
you're on the streets and then you're in different locations.
Yeah, 1 is all in one house, and you're trying to escape this house, and there's zombies in the hallways.
Yeah.
and all the puzzle and stuff. I remember watching my friends play it. I don't know if I ever had the guts to actually take the controls for
Yeah.
that first one.
One of my earliest memories is actually when my brother got the second Resident Evil game, and my whole family, like, we got out like the TV dinner trays, and we all like turned the living room lights off and watched my brother play Resident
That's
Evil
awesome.
2.
God.
Made it a family.
That's the only way to
affair.
play that game is in the dark, I mean, because that's just how it is. But I think with the first game too, the thing that really spooked the shit out of me was you're going down a hallway and all of a sudden these dogs just break out of the glass windows out from outside and they start chasing you inside the hall.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Zombified dogs,
dogs
and it
are
was
the
like
worst,
it's just
yeah.
quiet. It's
That
just
was
like
actually in the movie last night in Resident Evil 1.
yeah, like they took some elements from it, but yeah, it was scary as hell, and it was funny too because there was a little not fan made movie, but there was a movie before the game started. You would watch like a cutscene.
Oh yeah,
It was with live actors.
yeah. They had those weird cutscenes. In
Yeah,
that
with
first
live
movie.
actors, and
I'd
it was
forgotten about that until the remaster
yeah.
came
It's
out.
the remaster didn't have that, but the original one had like real actors for like a silly ass part. And if you can probably see
Yeah,
it
the
on
memories
YouTube.
came back for
This
sure.
one guy that played Wesker looked like Iceman from Top Gun.
Oh, totally. Such an odd
Val
era
Kilmer?
in video
Yeah,
games
exactly.
where they would put in the movie clips. The cinematic would be like just the straight filming of actors, and then or you'd have the cinematic is like a really triangular, dimensional looking thing. But so you don't see that. Why don't they do the cinematics like
I think it's
live
just
actors
cheaper.
anymore?
They can't
Yeah,
afford
they
the
have to
budget
get
anymore.
actors.
It's
And,
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, and the voice acting is just as bad. in that
Oh, God, it's
in that
horrible.
Oh,
first
it's-
game, right? It's the Jill sandwich or the Jill pancake or something that she's gonna get.
yeah,
turned
that was
into.
funny. I mean, who did you like playing more? Would you like playing Chris or Jill?
I like Jill because she didn't get attacked as much by the zombies.
She was weaker though. She was weaker.
She was a little weaker, but Chris, it was like every hallway it felt like an onslaught, and again, you don't have enough bullets, so you run out of your 3 bullets, and then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what do I do now? Jill, I feel like I was able to run around him a little bit better.
I think
Yeah.
Leon's the man.
I think those not the lickers, but the hunters were really creepy in that game too. When you go back in the mansion from coming outside, they're like these creatures who run really fast and they got claws on their hands,
Oh yeah.
and they can just kill you in one hit, chop your head off.
Yeah,
and-
it's not just zombies in Resident Evil. I like the monsters and
Well, it is called Biohazard.
the yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Originally Biohazard, and I think that's the first game I guess that uses survival horror.
It was
as
called
the- as the
Biohazard
word.
in Japan, and
Yes.
now Resident Evil 7 in America is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Biohazard.
Yeah,
so
'cause
it's like
it's
a
originally
reboot of the
Biohazard,
franchise.
Closing the loop.
And
Yeah.
this, what we played on Monday night was basically that haunted mansion in Resident Evil 1.
They nailed
You
it. They
Yeah, it's-
nailed that vibe.
Yeah,
Very
it-
claustrophobic.
you're
right?
third person in that. That first game came out in '95, and in this game, you're just
That was
it's
95?
something like that.
96 is when the
96.
first came
Okay,
out.
96. Yeah, I got it the first
20th.
week or two that it came out. I think it sold out like immediately, and I had to get restocked.
For the first game?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was weird because, like I said earlier, it's ported onto PC and PlayStation 1 is when it came out. And this is before DualShock came out, so they didn't have like the rumble
You didn't
feature
have
in the
analog
past.
controls.
Yeah, that's
You had to
right.
move around with those
So
stupid
later
arrow
they
buttons, which
they
was a pain.
re-released it with it was called the director's cut, and it actually gave you the vibration feeling. So the zombies chewing on you, it's the controller is shaking. So
That's
you're-
what you want.
Man.
Oh wow.
that kind of paved the way for a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, I in general think it was a great game, and they had that remake they did on GameCube, which is
Yeah,
from
they
ground
did it
up.
again.
They just did a whole different thing, but it was still really cool. And the tyrant fight at the end with that huge, bulking, distorted-looking man. With the,
Oh yeah, the bosses in Resident
Was
Evil
that the
always
Nemesis?
great, man.
You mean?
No. Nemesis in 3. When we get to 3, but he was like they were doing this thing called the T-virus.
Right.
And basically he was just this huge guy with this like his heart is on the outside of his body on
Oh,
his
we're
chest.
still talking about Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
Because I didn't play it.
It's called the Tyrant or something. Yeah, but and it's funny too because every single Resident Evil game has that thing where the way you beat the enemy at the end is get the rocket launcher.
Right.
You have to grab the rocket
You
launcher.
gotta aim
Just
it
like-
at the
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do that in Destiny
point.
too. Get that damn Galahorn.
rocket launcher cleans up house pretty much in any game.
Yep. It's the boss
Queen's
killer.
house. Well,
Or the
Resident,
BFG in Doom. You're
Resident
right.
Evil 2 is the one that scarred me. I mean, that was the one that I bought and actually played first, and I thought I knew what I was doing, but I think it was one of those where I didn't really get it, and I
It
died.
schooled you,
I died
huh?
a million times. I died a million times trying to play Resident Evil 2. That game, and Leon Russell I think makes his first appearance in
Yeah,
that game.
and then you can play the other character on the second disc.
Did you say
Right,
Leon
so-
Russell?
Leon Russell, my favorite.
Leon Kennedy.
Leon, Leon Russell, the old blues rock singer with the white beard.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking
No.
about the main character. I was like
yeah.
Leon Russell.
Edgar Winter.
Leon Kennedy, Edgar Winter,
Professional.
Leon the Professional. Yeah,
He would be. I would
Leon
definitely
Kennedy.
play him. He's a badass.
I think I always thought of it as Leon Russell. I don't
Jean
know why.
Reno.
It was one of those things. Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad's records playing in the background, me trying to play a video game.
What was your dad listening to back then? I'm curious.
Leon Russell,
Nice.
son of a bitch.
I can understand the confusion.
Yeah. Leon Kennedy
Yeah.
in the second game. Yeah. My man Leon. But yeah, that game, I mean, was one of those where I had no idea what I was walking into. Like when I played that game, I couldn't get past the fact that I couldn't just shoot my way out of it. Like the idea that I had to actually run from zombies, hide, escape. I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to just trying to survive in a video game rather than just mowing everyone
Fumbling
down.
around in the
Yeah, plus you
inventory,
had
trying to
limited amount of
combine
ammo
items to
and
get
Right,
everything.
everything, and then you
that's
had
where
your
it became
health.
real
and-
for me. Yeah.
I had so much anxiety watching my brother play that. Was never allowed to play it. But like we would always do that sit down thing and I just freak out every time.
Yeah, it was weird
Scary.
because I mean, I thought, for example, that the fact that there was 2 discs originally, one was Leon and one was Claire, and you could choose both what storyline you wanted to play as, but you'd be going through the same process but meet new characters with each different character.
I thought that was so
Just a
awesome.
little
That was
different.
original at the time when that came out.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I had so much fun playing both of those.
yeah. I mean, I was addicted to Resident Evil 2. I mean,
I really had hard problem.
the music
hard
was
time
really
getting
good. It was
into Nemesis,
it was
though.
very very eerie.
Yeah.
You know, and it got more gorier after a while. Is that a word, gorier?
Gorier, sure.
I'm
Gorier
patenting that
so.
word.
at that point, yeah.
Or is just more gory?
Lots
Okay.
of blood, lots of guts.
A gorier is someone who watches as afar as gore happens.
Ooh.
Well, hey, it's a word.
Enjoy.
But I
No,
remember,
being sexually turned on.
I remember, I actually, when I went back and played it quite a few times, I borrowed it from you because you had it for PlayStation 1.
I still have that copy.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, that's an old copy, but I mean,
I've got an original
when
copy
you-
of
when you-
Final Fantasy VII and
when
Tomb
you
Raider as
when
well.
you like played it like for the first time, like what was your experience for Resident Evil 2?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
Absolutely loved it. I was hooked on that game for so long. But then Nemesis, Resident Evil 3 kind of let me down. I don't know why. I just couldn't really attach to it.
Is that because that one kind of got more into the action? Like
I don't
it
even
wasn't
know
so
what the problem
horror-based?
was. It just I don't remember much about it, and I don't remember
Yeah.
it grabbing me as much as Resident Evil 2 did.
That is where the mood kind of changed, and they started introducing the.
It was more about Umbrella and less about survival horror. I think it was more of just a shooter.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
well, I mean, Resident Evil 3 was basically like Resident Evil 2, except you were playing as Jill from the first game.
Right.
You know,
Jill
and
Russell.
she's wearing this horrible like mini skirt and like this tube top.
Horrible,
And
horrible.
Well, I think that one, the graphics on 3 kind of don't hold up very good.
We could just
They
skip
look-
over
they look
3 and just
very
go
good.
straight to Resident Evil 4.
1
which
and
is where the
2
meat
and
is.
3, they look very blocky. But I mean, we at that time,
Yeah.
I mean, that was.
But
we
even
didn't
like
know.
I remember 1 and 2, like at least the backgrounds were really dark and they had that great kind of everything looks like it's rotting and look. And I think 3 just everything looked very shiny.
It seems like
from
if
what
you
I
ask
remember.
people about Resident Evil, 3 is not the game they mentioned first.
No,
No, I
so,
mean,
yeah.
I would say that it puts you more on edge because you're basically, in a lot of ways, running from a huge brute monster, the Nemesis. So he can just appear out of nowhere and just chase you.
That's
And
what,
that
yeah, I
was-
didn't like that.
Yeah,
for some
that's
reason.
what it was. Yeah,
felt cheap.
exactly.
So
Big monster.
it was just like this big monster, and it was, challenging, but at the same time, that was the scary part about it. Like every time he appeared on the screen, it would just be like dun dun dun, and it was like, oh my god, he's coming, I gotta hide, I gotta run. So, I mean, that was the only cool thing about it, but it was like cool because he also mixed it with 2, like Resident Evil 2's backdrops, like the Raccoon City Police Department. You go back to it in Resident Evil 3, so it takes place between 2 and then it is 3. So it's like a prequel, but not a prequel to Resident Evil 2, sort of. I don't know, but
Totally.
But it was also, it was what was it called? Like, I mean, I think in Resident Evil 3 in Japan was called Biohazard 3: The Last Escape, from what I'm reading. But that was also ported to a lot of other systems like Dreamcast and Nintendo GameCube and
Did
PS2.
anyone know anyone who owned a Dreamcast? I'm curious.
I owned
I
one.
owned a Dreamcast.
I knew
Really?
a guy who had one.
I had a friend in high school who had a Dreamcast.
I'm the only
yes.
one that's never even seen one in real life, and I worked in a video game
I still
store.
have one in my basement.
Jesus Christ.
I'll grab it. I'll give it to you. You get the
I'll
hookups
just
for
give it to you. It's
Yeah.
just like
that'd
a
be great.
paperweight.
Yeah.
You have any good
absolutely.
games for it?
I think I might still have Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver.
Oh, that was a
maybe
great
Crazy
vampire game.
Taxi.
I played that on PlayStation.
Oh,
Hopefully
man,
Jet Set
Crazy
Radio.
Huh.
Jet Set Radio
Yeah, it was
was
funny
the
because
one.
I worked for GameStop when the Dreamcast was launched, but it was called FuncoLand at the time.
I worked
Oh,
there
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
I also worked there.
You worked there?
That was where I worked. Yeah.
Wow,
By,
this is
by
like-
Coddingtown.
Small world. Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked there. Seriously.
Yeah, I was working there when the Dreamcast came out.
Did you guys know each other?
Wait,
at
no
Funko
way, because
Land?
I wasn't there.
Hold
you weren't.
on.
I didn't see you working there. You
Yeah.
sure that was at GameStop? There's no way, dude, because you weren't
It
there.
was
I
called
didn't s-
FuncoLand.
Yeah, but I wore like a
In
green
Santa
collared
Rosa?
shirt, and I
Yeah, I
didn't
had
see
that shirt.
Wow, either you got some really good fucking plastic surgery since then, because I do not remember you.
Wait, are you guys the same person?
This
We
would've
don't
been-
know yet?
this
That
would've been
was like
1997.
20 years ago.
No, I think
know?
Resident Evil. When did Resident Evil 3 come out? In 1998.
No. Well, I think that's when 2 came out. 3 probably maybe. A
Oh
year
yeah,
later.
2 came out in 1998. So
3 could have been
So you guys
99.
would definitely work. Yeah.
because
99. You guys were definitely
the
working
Resident Evil
together
3
at
and the
Funko Land.
Dreamcast came out
Without
right
knowing
near
it.
each other. So I don't know. It's one of us is off by our time there because I do not remember you. But
Well, why didn't the Dreamcast work? What happened there? What,
Well,
it was
a
Sega.
Sega, first
it
off.
should have. Well, I had a Genesis. I enjoyed it.
me too. I loved it, but
They tried a lot of weird things that I don't think worked out, like the memory cards that you could also load games onto.
no, that's what. Yeah, I was saying
Like-
it's like a little Game Boy sort of. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The controllers were really
Lots-
weird
almost
though.
maybe
weird
Like
maybe
this-
ahead of
peripherals
its
that you had
time,
to
or maybe
buy.
just a little too radical. Yeah, like people weren't really understanding what it was. Probably it was just.
Yeah, it was kind of like the precursor to the Wii almost, just because it felt kind of gimmicky
or like
on a
the
lot of
PS2
levels.
because it was the PS2 wasn't out yet. And
Yeah.
then the Dreamcast came out and it was the graphics were just way
They
better.
were so clean. Like the
I was
frames per
working-
second was really smooth.
I was working at a Funko Land when.
Oh, you worked at one too? Wow, I told you,
Were
small
you
world,
guys
man.
there? Oh, it's huge. It was huge.
Wait, did you really work there too?
No. I was working at a Best Buy actually when the PS2 came out, and a bunch of the employees at my store got caught hiding them, and then buying them after the end of the day because they would sell out immediately. Like as soon as they came in, we'd get like 6
I know.
in
I had
that
to wait
week,
for 2
and they would
months to
sell
sell
out for like in like
Yeah,
5
exactly.
minutes. So these employees were
I
like
mean,
hiding
since
them.
we're talking about Dreamcast and when Resident Evil Code Veronica came out for the Dreamcast, it was not released on any other console until years later. It came out in I believe 2000, and it was the 6th generation console. Was the first time a Resident Evil game was on a 6th generation console. So, none of you guys have played Code Veronica at all?
Nope.
I
It was
can't say-
basically
can't
you
say I
were in
have.
control of Claire Redfield, and you go to an isolated island out in Europe. So you kind of learn the more of the history of the Umbrella Corporation, where they started, and it looked better than 3,
Right.
but 4 wasn't out yet. So I thought that was 4, so I kept on calling it Resident Evil 4, but they just said Resident Evil Code Veronica. And you can play as Chris Redfield in it as well. So it's kind of like a brother-sister kind of team up, as you will. But the story was not the greatest, but still, I mean, Resident Evil,
Yeah.
it looked a lot better. And
Well, it's one of those where you Yeah, I feel like I remember reading something about how that was maybe going to be 3, and then they had to actually make 3 for Sony because Sony owned the rights or something. So it was like this kind of weird mix-up where they could have gone either way with it. It was one of those. So it became an offshoot only because they had to for legal reasons.
Yeah,
But
no, yeah. It was,
I
supposed
think
to be
Code
maybe the
Veronica was
third
meant
one.
to sell the Dreamcast.
it was because it was like Resident Evil was starting
it
to be a
didn't work.
household name.
Did not work.
Well, you didn't like Sonic Adventure? No,
No, I barely like Sonic.
no.
Sonic CD.
Sonic, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, Sega Saturn was kind of the same way. I mean, Sega Saturn didn't work, and they're like, well, let's go even crazier. Let's just go a completely other direction.
Watching your your
Bull.
brother play the game, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
For you, how watching that, did it scare you? Like give you nightmares? Did it?
Not really. It was more of an anxiety as it was happening thing, like the oh holy crap, run away right now, or I'm gonna freak out. If I have to watch you get eaten by this zombie, I'm leaving.
Yeah, it was pretty graphic, man. As far as I mean, you were telling me
the
when we were talking
tension,
about this. You
the
told
tension, the dread, the not knowing what was around the next corner. That was really what the first 2-3 games were all about. And that moment of having to just run, just whatever you do, run, get away from it. Like
One of the
that's-
worst things is realizing that there are no safe spaces. Like even if you leave a place that was previously safe and come back, suddenly now they know where you are, you still can't hide.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it was all about there was no autosave in games back then. It was just all about you have to get to this spot and save.
Oh,
on
and
the
you had to
typewriter.
find those damn typewriter
ink
ribbons.
Yeah,
Created
exactly.
a lot more tension too.
But the cool thing about the save room is it kind of gave you a break from all of the shit that you've been dealing with outside. All the zombies have been
I
trying
was
to kill
glad
you.
to see that in this new game that they still have that
I mean,
safe
it's a
room.
very callback. It's like you go to a save point in a room, and basically they just give you a bunch of health, they give you a
Sure.
bunch of ammo. So it's like I just landed in a gold mine because I need all this stuff. Thank you so much. And they play this really nice music. It's like elevator music
little
almost.
spa.
It's very
Yeah.
just
I remember that creepy
A nice lady comes out and gives you
tritone
a
piano
shoulder massage.
thing they had. It was one of the scariest memories of that game for me is hearing that solo piano piece in the save room.
Oh yeah,
Resident
yeah.
Evil
Oh
2.
God, yeah, it did. So, but that was a nice callback when we get on 7. But that was just made me feel a lot more relieved. I just want to stay here forever. I don't want to go back out.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you kind of relish the puzzles when you get a chance to kind of just. I could just worry about this statue now. I don't actually have to worry about being eaten. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's take a break. We got some beers to taste, and then we're gonna talk about Resident Evil 4, which is a game changer.
Yes.
I think
Yep.
we can agree. So we'll be right back. This is Hops and Monsters. Play the music.
There's a new trailer for the sequel to Trainspotting coming out, and it's called T2.
Beautiful. I can't wait.
Drug Mint Day.
Drug Mint Day. That's awesome.
Yeah, I really want to see Ewan McGregor come out of a toilet at 45 years old.
Screaming at
That's
a baby
exactly
on the
what I'm
ceiling.
looking for. Yeah, we're rolling. We're back. This is Hops and Monsters. We've been drinking way too many beers. We already ran out of all the other beers we had, so we're gonna taste some, and then we're gonna keep talking about Resident Evil and survival horror and zombies and why it's really scary to play video games. So I'm Charlie.
I'm Ben.
We got J-Man,
What's up?
and we got the Carls
Oh,
in the house. And Engineer Ant. How you doing over there, Ant?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
You need your own
we're
microphone
doing
over there,
good.
because every time I
usually
listen to
does.
podcasts,
He's
you're
usually
like,
yours.
We gave him a microphone for
Oh,
one
okay.
episode, and then we said no more microphone.
that's all you get.
No, yeah, anytime, man. Ant's really the one in control here. We're just talking. Ant's the one.
we're just a
who's got
bunch
all
of
the
drunk
power.
fools while
He's
he's,
behind
just
the curtain here. Yeah,
pushing
Doing
buttons.
all the work.
he
Drunk.
is God's work. So Ben, do we want to start with the Trooper?
Let's crack open the Trooper.
Okay, because you want to read the back of this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now this is an Iron Maiden beer, if you can believe it. Yeah.
All right, let's have a gander.
What
Is
does
it
say?
legitimately licensed?
It's
Trooper
very it's
Red
authentic.
and Black Porter.
Yeah.
And it's got Eddie. You know, on the cover.
Oh wow.
It's straight Iron Maiden.
That is
You
Iron
can
Maiden
probably buy it at
merch
their
in
merch
beer
booth,
form.
next time they come around.
Exactly.
Well, I'll be damned.
Apparently, it's a series that they're doing. Yeah, what's it say on the back?
All right,
end?
let me just read the flavor text here.
Please.
It's like the lyrics to a song.
Yeah.
The color,
Could be.
it's not just black.
You got to sing
it's
it in
red
falsetto.
too. The red and black, or red and black, as I would say. Bruce Dickinson, tasting session December 15th.
From the lips of Bruce himself.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, December 15. Year. Trooper Red and Black Porter is the first dark beer in the Trooper ranks and a modern recipe dating back centuries. How does that work? Okay.
A modern ancient recipe.
The red and black color comes from a blend of chocolate crystal malt, which gives.
Whoa.
This is really small
yeah.
text here. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Well, anyways, it's an Iron Maiden beer. We're going to open it, and then we're going to drink it.
Designed yet again by Iron Maiden vocalist and ale aficionado Bruce Dickinson.
God bless you, sir.
What doesn't Bruce Dickinson do anymore?
He flies planes too.
I know. He has so many
He
things.
has like an FFA
he heals the sick.
pilot. Like he
Yeah.
flies jumbo jets. Iron Maiden has their own jet, and he's the pilot.
Yeah.
Goddamn
All
better.
right, we're cracking it open here.
There it is.
There goes the cap.
There goes the cap. The
No,
trooper cap.
It's
Now, is it
it's
black
heads
and
up.
red? What do you think?
The lighting is so bad in here.
Yeah.
Can't really tell.
Yeah, I could see both. Yeah, there's a hint of red in that glass.
Wee bit.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
very dark, almost looks like
Oh.
a Coca-Cola.
Dark as your soul.
I poured a bit too much
Coca-Cola
of this.
of blood.
Want some more from this?
Yeah, like a Coca-Cola with maraschino cherry juice in it.
Jason, do you want some of this?
I already got a beer in my hand. I actually have a dead man right now, so
Dead guy.
dead guy.
Dead man in the
guy.
hand.
Dead gay. All right, so let's have a little of this. Where smells good.
Oh wow,
Smells kind of like candy.
very flowery.
Oh, I like that.
All right, let me try.
Here,
Yeah,
just
it's
finish
like
off this bottle.
it's kind of a sweet porter.
Okay, I got the bottle
Tastes
in my
way
hand. so-
chocolate more like chocolate than it smells.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I like
That's
that.
interesting. That's a tasty stout.
That is very tasty.
Mm.
That's
could-
kind of
I
like
could drink that very fast.
almost like a fucking coffee flavor to it in a way.
Yeah, it smells like chocolate, coffee, and I'm trying to place the.
Carl's taking a chance, even though he's
No, I
good
can still
smelling.
smell
smelling it.
stuff. Like it's a flowery smell, like
It's good. It's really good.
not rosy, but I'm trying to think of the flower. I cannot come up with it though.
All right, so we left off last time with we finished Nemesis. So between Nemesis and Resident Evil 4, there's about 5 years there where they apparently went through like 4 or 5 different versions of Resident Evil 4 trying
Yeah,
to
they couldn't
perfect
decide
it.
what they wanted to
That's
do
why it
with
took
it.
so long to come out because
Well, it worked.
they wanted to do one thing, but it didn't. So what I really appreciate about the series is that they always get it right. They take their time, they scrap things that don't work, and Resident Evil 4 was a big difference.
I'd say it's the high point of the franchise.
But it's got to be the best, right? It's my favorite.
so far because we haven't played all of Resident Evil 7. We're only
well,
3
that's
hours
true.
in.
Yeah, but
Only.
it's got the replay. It's got the action, but it's also got a lot of horror. I don't know.
I like the really
Yeah.
smooth shooting and movement mechanics.
Yeah,
That was
I
really
think-
important.
I think
got
it was
the
the
controls right.
first Resident Evil over the shoulder game.
Yeah,
And the
being
funny-
able to move when you shoot.
No, you can't in that one.
You
They
can't
actually
move when you
didn't.
shoot
They
in
didn't
that
give
one?
that mechanism until Resident Evil 6, where you can walk and shoot at the same exact time. It was still
Oh,
stable.
I thought you still had a little bit of movement, but I guess
Nah,
I
it-
can't.
But
I
it was so
remember
fluid. That was the first one where everything was so fluid that you actually could
Yeah.
aim and kind of expect to
Look
hit
down
what
the
you were
sights of the
aiming
gun
at.
and shoot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of as the sight mechanic.
I mean, it first came out on GameCube.
did,
I
yeah, very
didn't play it on
strange.
GameCube originally because I had a PS2. So then they ported it over to the PS2. And they said some of the visuals downgraded, but I was a huge PS2 fan, and it still looked
It
good
looked
to
great.
me. I remember, though, I had that game. It was sitting on the shelf for a good month because I wanted to kind of build up to Resident Evil 4. So I played through all the first, second, third game. And then I finally got to 4. I was like, oh, my God, why was this sitting on my shelf for that long?
Why were you wasting your
Holy
time
shit.
with the
Yeah.
last
Because when
3?
I played that game, because like you guys, I'm a John Carpenter fan. When I played that game, it was straight up like The Thing meets Alien with the people when they get it wasn't zombies anymore. It's people infected with like this crazy thing.
It was like intelligent kind of villager type people who
like
were
a parasite or something.
Yeah, and that first
Was
kind
it
of
a
big
T
opening
virus
scene-
mutation that was?
Yeah.
It was-
behind
No, it was
There's
something
something
called like
different.
Las Plagas or something, from what I remember.
Yeah, it was kind of an offshoot of the whole thing.
Because it happened in Europe. The game was in Europe, and you weren't basically in surroundings that you're not familiar with. Like with all the Resident Evil games, you were like in.
Well, you play as Leon Kennedy, and
the second game. Yeah,
you're a federal agent at this point. You're trying to rescue the president's
makes
daughter.
no sense that you're in
But,
Europe if you're a federal agent.
Yeah, but I love how they just drop you off in this random little village and like, all right, go find that daughter of the president. We'll see you
the
later.
graphics were incredible. I mean, that really it looked
Yeah,
like a
it
really
hooks you
gray,
very quickly.
really despondent Romanian village.
and it's got
when they drop you
the
off in
guy
there.
with the chainsaw.
Oh, that guy was
that was the
terrifying
thing.
as
That
fuck.
was the
Chainsaw
thing.
guy, right?
The chainsaw guy was
There
the
we go.
one that scared the hell out of me
Right?
because he was really indestructible in a way. You had to keep blasting with the
He
shotgun.
was like the
Oh, yeah.
nemesis in 3.
Yeah, he's basically. But this guy was like, if he gets near you, you're dead.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. Yeah.
Like,
Done
and it's
so.
graphic. They show him cutting off your head falls off, and it's funny too because Ben. I'm not sure if you remember this because when our old studio, I had that
We had
Resident
that
Evil 4.
poster.
I had this Resident Evil 4 poster.
I still have it. I thought about
I
putting
gave
it
it
up
to
in here,
Ben.
in fact, but Aunt said no more posters on the wall.
Yeah, I gave it to Ben. That's actually cool.
Come
You have
on,
it.
Aunt.
I gave it to
We've
Ben,
got Meshuggah and Lord of the Rings. That's all we get.
That's enough.
and it was just a poster of Leon getting hacked in with the chainsaw in his
God.
chest. It was just that image. Just
Yeah, it's brutal.
and Ben's like, I love it. It's metal. I want it.
So cool.
If I can't put it up in here, I'm definitely putting it up in the Baron Alter studio.
Do it.
I think though for me, Resident Evil 4 as well is the beginning part where you're in the village
Oh yeah.
and everything's fine, and all of a sudden these normal people
They
attack
swarm
you all of a sudden, and the music gets very tensed, and you're trapped in the house, and then it took me 20 times to finish that part out because I was so freaked out. Like, I don't know what to do. Do I escape the house? Do I
Right.
stay in the house?
And it's a perfect survival horror. Like you got to run, you got to jump out the window. Like you can't just stand there and blast them because there's a chainsaw guy coming and he will not.
You
go
hear the
down.
chainsaw from
You need to
outside.
save your
Hear
ammo
the
for that
chainsaw
just to
coming.
survive his encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you-
demands dynamic movement.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Right.
it was just like a horror film. Like, basically, like, what if you were trapped in a house with a bunch of villagers?
It was like
or-
Night of the Living Dead with Texas Chainsaw Massacre on top of it.
Yeah.
That's what you're going through.
I mean, these people weren't really zombies. They had more intelligence. They knew how to wield a weapon. They knew
but it's
how-
still it's mob violence.
just a
Yeah,
pitchfork.
exactly. Yeah, I'm just
Mob.
saying that these people were all infected with this parasite, and then you just think you got in the beginning of the game with this village, but then it just extends. You're in a castle.
in the castle. Yeah.
and then
Well, I
this
love all
creature
the-
from the Black Lagoon or
all
the,
the,
Yeah.
all the
Loch
boss-
Ness monster in
yeah,
that lake.
all the
you know.
bosses in that game. You got like the big Rasputin looking guy. You've got the little guy with the sailor outfit.
Yeah.
on. It's
Sounds-
like this creepy kid. I mean, those are so memorable to me. They're,
Yeah.
like,
I have to
stuck
give
in
that
my
game top marks, and I haven't even finished it.
head.
Yeah. So when you
yeah.
said you got to the sea monster part,
Couldn't get past it.
it's tough
That's-
because you're in a boat and the thing's pulling you. It's like a huge sea monster,
Yeah.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
supposed to throw harpoons at it to like
You got to
kill
throw
it.
harpoons at it, Ben. Yeah.
Got to get all Moby Dick up on its ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta go
it's
Ahab.
really satisfying by the end of it. You should try it again.
Yeah. You should keep going.
I still have it,
I feel like it's pretty early on.
and I still
Yeah.
have my
I
PS4,
think-
my PS2 hooked up.
Do you know the?
I've got the Wii version of the.
Yo, God,
Resident
yeah, that
Evil
was
4
fun.
still.
Resident Evil 4 with the Wii
With the
was
Wii,
awesome
where you
because
could actually-
when you're moving the
Oh, yeah.
arm,
aim things. That
it's
was
a
kind
lot
of the
better to
first-
aim.
That was
Yeah,
my
a lot
second
better.
playthrough on it, I think, was the Wii.
with the
Yeah.
Wii
Yeah.
because I played on PS2, then
And-
I played on GameCube,
Again, surprisingly
Oh,
smooth.
okay.
then I did Wii,
Yeah.
but it's been ported to so many consoles,
Mm-hmm.
and lately the last installment right now has been on PS4, which came out with another HD version. It's
Did
like the
they
HD
really-
version
I
of
didn't
the
even
HD
know
version.
that, but I want it.
There's Resident Evil 4 for PS4 now.
To play that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
We will.
So it's the same game. It's the same game, but just the visuals are upgraded. But there's so much you can do with the game that old.
Can you port your old character save to it?
No, it's all fresh and everything. And the cool
Why
thing,
would
of-
you want to
You know, we
anyway?
didn't mention
Yeah.
this about the Resident Evil games. Is like when you beat them, then you can unlock costumes, silly ass costumes that you can wear, like to go through the playthrough again.
Sure.
You can wear like a bikini, or you can wear
They,
like
the Resident Evil games have a really great replay value that I don't think I get in a lot of other, especially horror games or at least shooter up. Just you play through Doom or something and you shoot everything. Okay, you've done it. But Resident Evil, especially 4, I've played that 3 or 4 times through. It's
Did you
just-
beat it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so
It was
satisfying.
long too. It was very long.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not impossible. It's
No, yeah.
and I'm one of those people that gets frustrated with games. Like
Yeah.
if I got stuck at the sea monster thing, I could see just throwing
That's
it all.
kind of
up,
I had
but-
to walk away.
But for some reason, that one always kept me hooked. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really play. So I mean, there's 5, there's 6, and now
I played a
we're on
little
7.
bit of 5, but I didn't
I
like
played
it.
a little of 5. That one you had to play with someone else. It was like
Well, you had a partner
cooperative,
that
right?
was part of you. It was almost like Resident Evil 4. You had Ashley. But
yeah,
you had to walk.
you had
It was
the
like
girl, you had to-
babysitting.
well,
you had to walk
like,
around
keep
with
her
her.
safe, right? But
You had to use all her ammo to keep her from dying and
Right.
and save herself.
Yeah, I don't remember the mechanics on that being very effective.
I didn't like it.
It was a game that you kind of had to play with 2 people. At the
Right.
same
Well, it's a
time.
fun co-op game, but
Yeah, well,
like,
I think that's how it was intended. And then the
yeah,
AI mechanic
exactly.
just
Because
didn't work out.
multiplayer co-op stuff was starting to get really big at that time. It's big now, and they had to find a way. So how can we implement this into like Resident Evil? Oh, I know. Let's put another character in the game so you can just basically follow them. And
the Tails to Sonic. right?
exactly,
Yeah, no.
the Luigi to
the
Mario.
follower, the backup who was there until they were not in your screen, and then they disappeared for 5 minutes until they.
You know what's
got
crazy
somehow.
about Resident Evil 4 is I was just reading this. The English voice actors recorded their parts in 4 sessions over 3 to 4 months. That's how long it took them to record all their
lot.
dialogue.
Yeah,
There's a lot of it. So
it's a very in depth.
And do you
story.
find it takes that long to record
scenes.
dialogue for video games?
In a live setting, not really. I mean, because you have only a limited amount of time. But tripping out on the production, like, it's all on a timeline. Like, if they have the budget and they have, the time, they could really be perfectionist about it and be like, hey, but at the same time, with game dialogue, there's so many different variables and so many different alternative paths that you have to have a very large array of
Possible dialogue trees and
Yes.
stuff that they can
Yes.
follow and
exactly.
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you guys never really played much of Resident Evil 5 or 6, then, right? I mean, you played a
No,
little bit of
and
5.
6 especially looked like it was just.
It was a straight. I mean, 5 and 6 are more action.
Out of control.
They were straight up
What
action.
was Raccoon City
It's
Tales? Was
completely
that
ridiculous.
6?
There was like a Raccoon City game, but it was more like a.
Was that the first-person shooter you were talking about earlier?
No, it wasn't first-person shooter. The one that just came out a couple years ago was, I think, it was called Resident Evil Umbrella Corps.
Oh,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
play as just the SWAT people, and
You're-
run
yeah,
around
you're an
and
umbrella
killing
soldier.
like.
But it's a
zom-
Rails game. I mean, you're on the path. The game moves you around.
It's like they were
and you
trying to
just
do
shoot. Yeah,
House of the Dead, but better somehow, just with the
Right,
Resident Evil
exactly.
name
Yeah.
stamped on it.
basically.
I mean, I played them all. I played up to 6. 6 was ridiculous once they implemented like a T-Rex into it. Like, I was like,
What?
okay, this is weird.
zombie T-Rex or regular T-Rex? What
It
are
was
we
like
looking
a
at here?
person who, with every Resident Evil game, near the end, you get to a normal guy, and then he injects himself with something.
Sure.
And he's like, all right, I'm going to kill you now. I'm going to just transform into something. And unimaginable. You're
He
going to
turns
freak
into
out.
a large flightless ostrich. With
Yeah,
no
it
feathers.
turns. There's always something like
Very
with
threatening.
Resident Evil 4, you had that one guy.
His
the-
arms shrink up.
with Resident Evil 4, you that little short guy with the sailor hat.
Yeah.
He transformed into some huge creature. And
Still wearing the
the
sailor
other guy,
outfit.
Still
Sadler.
got the cap on. Yeah.
Sadler, the
The
guy
Stay
that was
Puft
the main
Marshmallow
guy,
Man?
Right.
with the robe, like he turns into like this crazy spider thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was ridiculous. So I mean,
But you played all the way through it, I bet.
I played it all the way through, and that was the first
Yes.
time and the last time I played it because it felt like they were copying the same material from 4.
I admire your endurance,
Right.
They're copying the same material because I'm a fan. I mean, like I gotta start from finish to end.
Got it.
It's
which
like-
is
Gotta
why
do
you're
it.
on this podcast tonight. No one knows more about Resident Evil than you.
I'm just saying I played them all. Not probably the Game Boy Color versions or any of that kind
I'm
of
surprised.
junk, but
I would imagine
Well,
you would go
that's
out and
fine.
buy an
Well-
old Game Boy
well,
VR just to play a version of it.
You got to tell us about the novels. You have the Resident Evil
Oh
novels.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have these novels.
So we
right
got to
in
get
front of
into
me.
this.
Are they
Some
doing
other
more
big
work
stack
than
of
just
them.
holding up your tablet
there's
right
a,
now?
There's a huge reading list that goes along with Resident Evil.
We haven't even talked about the films yet.
No, we got it. Yeah,
I don't know. What do you want to
exactly.
cover first, the books or the films?
Talk about I'm going to open up the Smog Lifter, This is the Imperial Chocolate Milk Stout. Is this from Clown Shoes?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Now
so
that one looks like it was sponsored by Umbrella.
This definitely looks like the whole family's in the
Like if
gas
Umbrella
mask
had a
suit.
brewery for T-Virus, that's
hazard
what
suit.
they would
Yeah,
bottle
you got
it
a
in.
pretty good wasteland behind
Yeah,
him.
the whole thing is fucked up.
We've got
so-
dudes in hazmat
Very
suits
good.
with gas masks.
just looks all kinds
very
of wrong.
biohazard-ish.
All right, so
We love to
we're gonna
fit
be
the
drinking
beer
that.
to the theme of the show.
So, does it translate to novels? I mean, just the ooh, that's a dark one. Does it
It pretty much well
the
translates.
written word?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just like he walked this way and hit a bunch of zombies, then he stabbed them in the face, and then they died, and then he
Is it
walked.
is it the characters like Redfield and
exactly? It's a little bit more like it broadens the horizon of who these people are, and once they go into the mansion, everything is more incredibly detailed. I mean, these books came out years ago. I think there's about 6 or 7 of them. I don't know if there was a Resident Evil 4 book. I know it went up to Nemesis, but they are put out by Pocket Books. They're very small books. I mean, you could read something like this in probably like a day, maybe a day and a half tops. But it's a good, putting a video game into a novelization. It's kind of, it sounds a little weird because it's like I played the game, so why would I want to read the game? you know?
Right.
But I was working at Walden Books at the time, and I was playing Resident
I
Evil.
was working at Walden Books at the time.
Oh my god! Same year, same store. Oh my
This is
god!
the Santa Rosa
Really?
location.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
man.
God damn, this is a small town.
Exactly. So
Oh no,
I was just a Resident Evil fan, and I saw the books, and I'm
Call
like,
back.
So, do you really get a good sense of the anxiety through the books, like you do in like the video games, or is it a lot less?
it's
intense?
more of like a. Well, I guess there's 2 different ways of seeing it because visually, yeah.
Is
with
it
the
gripping
games.
literature?
But when you're reading it, it's just more like they'll describe if like someone's head came off and bitten off. They'll
And
describe
why would
like
you
the
want to
way.
read that when you can just be that? You know,
Well, maybe it's a really good description. I don't know.
But they get that's just the way the author writes it. It's all written by the same guy. His name is S.D. Perry. I know nothing about this guy.
oh, okay.
Saint Perry?
Saint Perry,
S.D. Perry.
Oh,
Perry.
SD.
patron saint of zombies.
But Resident Evil's story is just in general. It's a very good story.
Well, there's a whole conspiracy to it. Does
does it get deep into
there's a lot
what
of
the
levels.
Umbrella Corps is about?
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
even as you go on, you learn more about like why they're doing what they're doing, and which is ridiculous because I mean, why would this company put? It's a medical company that made a virus, and
T virus.
the T virus, and then they had the G virus,
It's like the worst virus ever.
and then they had the Wu-Tang virus. I don't.
That virus ain't nothing to fuck with.
yeah.
That dirty old bastard.
But yeah, I mean, they translated pretty well. I mean, if you like the games and you want to know
Sure.
a little bit more, or you want to get more depth, it was a good read for
We're
sure.
gonna talk
I
about
haven't
the
even-
smog lister.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
just gonna say this ale is a lot
Wow, this is
spicier
strong.
than the last one.
This is
definitely
heavy.
less sweet.
Yeah.
This is a heavy goddamn ale.
It has a
Man.
molasses.
Does it feel like a pop-
It
and
does
pop
taste
taste
in
to
your mouth?
Yeah, it's
Molasses
like
is a
drinking
good one.
molasses.
Yeah, it's pretty thick. You can't really see anything.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
no color but
No.
dark
Yeah,
brown.
that is.
it's probably my least favorite
Basically
of the
sludge.
clown shoes offerings at this point.
It's pretty bitter.
Well, yeah, we've had a lot
my
of clown
God.
shoes at this point. No, but
Couldn't have
Yeah.
said it better,
Yeah.
Jason.
yeah, it's a total chocolate.
It's not bad.
Stout,
It's just
Definitely.
like
but for stout lovers,
it's very strong.
We're gonna have to
Especially
open
in
the
contrast to the
Rubicon
last
First
one.
Contact IPA to wash this down. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That's coming up. Well, yeah. What about the movies? I mean, obviously, this comes out. We're recording this before the last movie comes out, or the last chapter comes out in like 3 days.
Yeah.
People will be hearing this after that movie came out. Are you going to go see it? You like the
It's
movie?
actually my birthday. The movie
You
comes
guys like
out.
Are you going to IMAX?
Oh, happy birthday!
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna go. I'm legitimately committed to seeing IMAX. I will see it, but
In
I
the
don't-
theater, you actually go see it.
It's the last one. I mean, seeing Mila Jovovich.
I feel like I've
just-
seen them all in the theaters. Like oddly enough.
I think I
But
have.
you
I
know what?
saw the first one in the
Big
theater.
chance.
just random. Like every time it's been random, it's like my dad's like, "Let's go see a movie," and my
And that
dad,
happened. There happens to be a
my
new
dad
Resident
has
Evil film
the
out.
worst taste in movies. So I've seen.
Yeah.
I
both,
don't believe you.
I saw both the Ghost Rider movies in the theater.
With your
with
dad?
my dad. With my dad.
Congratulations.
I didn't know he was such a Marvel fan.
Off topic, but you know what's funny? I took my mom to see Mortal Kombat once.
I was gonna say the other
For her
movie.
She was
birthday?
bored as fuck.
The
I
other
swear
See,
to
when I
God.
go to the movies with my mom, it's for like those Roman, like Benjamin Button
Les
or
Mis.
some shit.
Oh, if I go with my dad, it's 47.
Like The
Ronin.
Notebook or
It
something. You
is
take your
like
mom
Oh,
to see
boy.
that
bad
shit.
Keanu Reeves action movies, or like
Hey, Charlie,
That's
Nicolas
like my
remember-
Cage.
dad.
Yeah, he just wants to see as much like explosion as possible. So we definitely went and saw the last like 2 or 3 movies. Me and my dad. It's a bonding moment, you know. You get to bond.
Why don't you
over,
take him to
over Mia
the
Jovovich.
Avengers or something good?
No, he doesn't like good movies. He doesn't like It's one of those where it's like he really likes the bad
You know what,
action
son?
movies.
I
got
think
a
he
really
grew
good
up on,
Resident
like,
Evil movie.
He grew
You
up on
know
like
what
Chuck
good
Norris
films are,
or like
and he
Charles
doesn't.
Bronson.
Where does this
I don't
come
know.
from? Where
He just it's like the cheapest. Like
does he
well,
understand
or
your Laserdisc fetish or not?
Maybe it's one of those where it's like just the first movie he sees like on the list. He's like, all right, let's go to that one. Like it doesn't
That
doesn't
sounds
matter.
alright.
Yeah,
Did you get the sense that he enjoyed Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider?
yeah,
I've never even seen the second one.
See,
Yeah.
I think my dad would too.
yeah. He
But my
was
dad
into
does
it.
have some good taste in movies.
No,
Nicolas
I
Cage
remember-
is just
Are you
amazing.
fucking kidding
No,
me?
dude, even especially that second movie, I was like, we went and saw this first one.
He was like, yeah, I
not
was
that
looking
great.
forward to the sequel.
He's like, yeah, but Nicolas Cage.
I didn't even bother
was-
seeing the sequel at all. It looks so horrible.
I don't even think I've
I
seen
like
either
Nicolas
of
Cage
those.
in like 3
pretty
movies, and that's it. And he's
Yeah.
horrible.
I gotta
in
tell you though, I
everything
mean,
else.
it's a Cage rage, especially when he's like turning into Ghost Rider and he's like
the
screaming.
Cage rage.
Yeah,
That sounds like
Where
something
the
out of
bees? Where the bees?
like when he's in Con Air or something.
How
with
to get
that
burned?
stupid Billy Ray Cyrus mullet. That's Cage rage.
oh yeah, the most obvious wig in Hollywood.
Yeah,
It's
that
the Nick Cage
put
wig.
the bunny down.
The Nick Cage rage.
It's so bad. So yeah,
But,
I've definitely seen all the Resident Evil movies.
I think I've seen them all in theaters.
Thanks, Dad.
Anyways.
Thanks, Dad. But I actually
there's
really
not-
liked the first one. I remember
first
going with a
one's
bunch
amazing.
of friends. It was,
I watched it last night
2002
again.
or something. It's entertaining. I don't know. They get the
Mila
puzzles.
Jovovich is fucking hot.
They get the zombies.
No,
They get
she's
the
good.
monsters.
Wes Anderson directed it, who
I
was
don't
the
know if
guy
he's
that
good,
directed.
but
No,
Are
you
not
serious?
Wes Anderson.
Fuck off.
You dumb. F-
Paul Anderson.
Paul W. Not Paul. No.
What was his name? I'm fucking
I know.
lost
Paul,
here, dude.
Paul W. S. Anderson.
Paul W.S. Anderson.
Paul
Yeah,
W.
Okay.
not to
Well,
be
there's-
confused with P.T. Anderson.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
P.T. Anderson and there's
He
Wes
makes good movies.
Anderson.
There's Louis in it.
And
First thing that came to my head was Wes Anderson.
None
So
of them
I'm,
made the Resident
I'm way
Evils.
off.
I think isn't Mila Jovovich like
she's married to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
He
she was
did
married
more-
to, no, she was married to the French dude, Luc Besson.
No.
No,
Oh,
she's
she's married to
definitely
him.
married
The
to
dude-
that other guy.
The dude
He
who
did the
directed
first
Fifth
one,
Element.
and then he's been
She
doing
was-
the later ones.
She was with the French
latter
dude,
ones.
and they were together when she made Fifth Element, I believe.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
I
About
don't
that
think they
one.
were married, but I don't know
She's
that much
in a
about her
lot of
life.
his movies, and not in the good ones either. What does that tell
Well,
you?
bottom line is she's married to a guy who's probably the director of the movie.
Anyway, she plays Alice, who is in the movies. Yes, no, those those movies are very entertaining. Well,
She
on
wasn't a character in the
pure
game,
too.
Surface level. Don't look for any deeper meaning. Don't look for any kind of morality tale or anything. Just
Now, do you
things
think
blow
that
up.
there was a missed opportunity here when she could have been Jill or Claire Redfield or somebody cool?
Yeah, that's
from the
kind of what
games.
I was expecting.
But no, they have to just
That
create a
was the
character
thing,
from scratch.
with the movie when I originally saw it in the theaters, and I remember the soundtrack, like you were saying before, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
done by
Soundtrack
Marilyn
was
Manson, who I don't know how because it's so
industrial.
good.
Yeah.
I don't think Marilyn Manson himself had
the
much
movie
to do with it.
wasn't a gore fest of a zombie film. I know that. I mean, when people
No.
were,
It was more
wasn't.
sci-fi. Like,
But it was, for me being a fan of the game, it was very different because it had elements of the game, but Alice wasn't a character
The
in the
fact
game.
that it
A lot of
references
people in that
the
game,
T-Virus and Umbrella Corps is
a lot of
pretty much all
people
it-
in that first movie were not in the game. Then they said, okay, well, people are getting confused. Let's add, Claire. Let's add Leon and so
Familiar
over the-
characters.
Yeah,
Michelle
exactly.
They
Rodriguez,
show
I don't
up.
think I've ever seen her in a more badass role, honestly. And she's
Yeah.
always in a
Jumpy.
badass role.
She's always badass. That's true.
But yeah, that movie. The first time I saw it, I mean, I saw it 3 times in the theater because
Three
like I s-
times in the theater.
Jesus.
No, because I was a fan of the game, and
Yeah.
I liked the movie. I thought it was the soundtrack.
No,
had
I
me
bought
pumped.
it as soon as it was out because I saw it in the theater as well, and that's a damn good movie. It's one of my favorite horror
I
films.
think that's. I mean, the fact of like
the first
taking an
Silent Hill
elevator,
film's really good too.
taking
That
a
one
subway
was
train.
incredible.
It gets, I mean, and critics just poo-poo all over it, but those are two fucking really good movies based on video games.
Let me just
Silent
say,
Hill.
I didn't enjoy the Resident Evil one so much, but
I was gonna say that laser wall, the laser grid.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was so.
That's what I was just
Yeah,
about
that
to
was
fucking
sick.
say, man.
That was
Seriously,
sick.
like that scene with the laser grid. It was like it was gory, but still, it was like the guy
good.
gets chopped up into chunky pieces, but you don't see it. Like you see,
and he's
him-
like a Tai Chi master. He's ready to take that wall on, dude.
That's
He's
right.
got the fucking pose going and shit. But nope, it just
You know,
goes
it's
into, like,
also-
Slice and
12
dice.
different beams and just cheese grades him.
yeah, cheese great all the way. But
Cheese.
it's crazy because I was just
Meat
watching.
slicing.
Great. All the way, baby.
I was watching the trailer for the new movie, and it's got that scene again. It's got that room.
Is
with
this like a
laser grid.
reboot of the
More
first film, I
nostalgia,
wonder?
pandering.
They did that. They did it in another one too. They did
You'd
the
think-
same thing.
Come on, you stupid motherfuckers, learn. Don't walk into a room with a computer in it. There's
But you
probably
kind
going
of
to be
get
a laser
sucked.
field.
You know, you kind of
Yeah,
get
if
sucked.
the
in-
computer says you're going to die, it's like, yeah, believe the
Probably.
computer.
You're all gonna die down here.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. All right, so let's end it this way. Survival horror. What are you guys gonna do? What's your plan? I love this topic.
Oh, we've got a plan.
What are you gonna do? You wake up and the radio's like, take it over, blah blah blah, and it cuts out. Like, what is your plan of action? Go.
Run to the woods immediately.
Aircraft carrier.
Aircraft carrier. Yeah.
Well,
I like
I've got one of these portable hand crank generated radios, so I'm just going
I have one
to
of those
crank
too.
that shit up and keep listening.
Okay. But if they're
I
coming,
can
if
charge
they're
my
coming your
iPhone on
way-
it too, so I've got music
Okay, good.
for the apocalypse.
You got a soundtrack set.
I would probably go to an isolated area, not near public, like not near a city.
Aircraft carrier.
Go visit your sister up in Tahoe.
Well, like
I could do that, but I'm
yeah,
saying aircraft
floating
carrier is a good
city.
idea.
Floating
But I
city's
would
good.
feel like I would need some weapons though. But I don't know.
Well,
if
you
I'm-
could just
You're on
you
an
could, you
aircraft
could get to a
carrier.
dock
You would be so
and get a boat.
vulnerable
Yeah,
from
for sure.
like any sort of government force or military force.
You could be
that
vulnerable
could-
from scurvy. You know,
Yeah.
you can't grow vegetables on an aircraft carrier.
Yes, you can.
You totally could.
Yeah,
I'd
It'd
say
have
you
to be
could
a
make that shit
self-sustaining
happen.
System, but
You know why they call British sailors limeys?
Outside threats.
Because limes were the only thing that would last on a boat for 3 months.
Well, okay. So how about weapon of choice though? Like if you're in your house and the zombie apocalypse comes, what are you grabbing?
AK-47 with over and under
No,
chainsaw.
what are you grabbing? What are you grabbing right now in your house today?
a phased plasma
And-
rifle with a
and what are
40
you
watt
doing with
range.
it?
Actually, I switched mine. I want Jason's.
Honestly, a two-handed kukri is one of the
Kukri?
best. Yeah, it's like a machete with a weird
That's a Malaysian
shaped blade.
machete, right? With the wedge in it?
Yeah, but then
Like
you
a boomerang?
extend the handle so you can really swing it.
Are we
and get
talking about
leverage
zombie
on it.
apocalypse? Basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Sure.
really effective,
For when you got just cut
and
through
it
the
doesn't
fat.
require ammo. So.
I don't even
I've
want to
got
know
an
how you know that,
aluminum
Carl.
bat and a hunting knife.
That sounds good. Yeah,
I think a weapon
Aluminum
with
bat's good.
projectile would be, I mean, like with length, like if you had, like, say, a shovel or something.
I bought one of those giant Maglite flashlights. I got that. I'm gonna
You
club
could
that
do
around.
something
Start,
with
yeah.
it.
You know-
for
Club
sure.
that around.
Check it
No,
out.
I thought
that's
Ben. I
practical,
thought
too.
Ben would use. I thought you would use records like they did in Shaun of the
that
Dead.
seems
Like you
right
just
by
throw
the
a bunch of
bedside.
records.
Oh,
your whole
yeah,
record
just
collection.
cut people's
yeah.
head off
Ben's
with your
record
vinyl.
Dead
collection.
style.
That's where your record collection's going to go.
No, because my record collection means far more to that. Even the stupid Prince records, I'm fucking keeping.
Ben's saving his record collection no matter
That
what,
dance,
guys.
I'm keeping it.
No
It's
matter
going
what.
down with the record collection. I like that.
Actually, come to think of it,
I put
always
far too
have
much
my,
time and money and
Bear
effort into that
Grylls
collecting that.
survival knife on me,
you go.
and it has the
Nice.
extra fire starter.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Perfect.
and blade sharpener. So it's a
Bushcraft.
that's what you need.
It's like a survival knife. But
You know, but
Or
I think
just a
honestly,
lemon.
all I would need lifetime supply of vodka and a lighter.
Just
I'll make my
Molotov
mouth.
cocktails
And
for
Make it
life.
happen.
I'll make my mouth a flamethrower, dude. I'll
Yeah.
fucking burn the fuck out of everything. I'll just take a swig of vodka, light it up.
When in doubt, explode the mother.
Shoot it out.
That's all you got to do.
what about
Alright.
you? What was yours? Magnite lighter?
Maglite, definitely. I also have learned from having a dog for
What
the
you
last
gonna
couple years
do when the
benefits of
batteries go
having
out, fool?
having an alert system.
Right.
The dog
They
is
would sense
very
it, yeah.
key. And I'm kind of
I'm already there with the dog. I've got a wolf on waiting
Yeah,
for
they
me on
did
the
the
porch.
dog with the Fallout game. It's like they should have a dog. as your companion in the Resident Evil games. It'd be like the early warning system.
There are dogs,
and then it would be
but
something
they're just
that you have
dead
to protect.
Dobermans trying to
and-
attack you.
Yeah, exactly. All the dogs open up like the thing and try
Right.
to attack you.
Can't
with some
trust
knife
dogs,
or
man.
something. Yeah.
But
Can't trust
anyways,
them.
I was gonna say that we really quickly I think we should cover Resident Evil 7 since you
Yes.
guys all had a chance to watch that.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Yes,
working up to
yes.
that,
Just
and we're
started
working
playing
up
that.
Our most
to
recent memory.
Yeah. It was very scary.
and Carl came up with a great plan for
Oh.
our next sojourn into Resident Evil 7.
Okay.
Here's what we're gonna do.
You're gonna have to remind me of that one. I know it had something to do with
had a great
VR.
plan.
You had a
but-
plan, but I have the plan.
Don't-
Here's what it is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the 10
Dan's
minute.
got
yeah,
Dan's got the
okay.
VR headset.
Oh, yes.
Resident Evil 7 works with it. We're gonna come over here next week sometime, maybe.
Beautiful.
We're all gonna be forced to watch it and endure it, but everyone's gonna have to wear that VR set for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you survive 10 minutes, you can hand it off to the next
You
person.
survive
in
10
hell.
minutes. I'm not gonna die on the headset, but as far as
Everyone has to take a turn wearing the headset
I like
while
it.
we all watch on the projector.
Yeah, and I think that we should at least audio record
I would-
a
I- as
reaction.
We
far
should
as-
definitely
yeah.
record it.
I
Yeah.
think though, I mean, I bought the game. We played over at Ben's place, but everyone's had a chance to kind of check it out. So
Yeah.
all around the table, what was your first
Well,
experience as far
definitely
as
the first person aspect of it is new for Resident Evil, but they did it really well with the kind of flashlight look and the limited visibility and like what I love about the Resident Evil games is the backdrops, the grime, the decay, the rot that is in everything. I think
Yeah.
they did that really well. And this one definitely has kind of a Texas Chainsaw vibe to it with the crazy family that you're introduced to very
Yeah.
early on in the game. So, I want to see more. I want to play
Yeah.
more. Yeah, I want to get more into that game for
What
sure.
about-
Would
about you guys?
play it in VR alone?
Alone,
in the dark?
you know, I think I'm able to separate entertainment from horror in a video game sense, but at the same time, no, I don't want to play it alone. Not at all. No, not even a bit.
But you give it like 2 thumbs up as far as
Big time.
scary
Yeah,
factor.
very- yeah.
What about you guys?
Oh, it was good. It was suspenseful in just the right ways. Even when you had already when we were watching you play, for instance, we would know what was happening, but it would still shock you every time, no matter what. And you're like, okay, now I've already forgotten where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do. I gotta
so
grab
fucking
this
rattled.
and that. Yeah, no
disorienting.
kidding. But in a really good way, because once you had every playthrough, you would probably die the first time, or the first 2 times maybe. But you would eventually be like, oh, okay, it's just a puzzle. I got to figure out what to do. And now that I know the order in which I need to do things, I can make it through this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Ben?
100%.
Well, as you know, I had to prepare in advance for this. So I had
You were freaking out.
2 milligrams of Xanax, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, a whole galaxy of uppers, downers, bloopers, what have yous, quarter tequila, quarter rum, 2 bags of grass. Not that we needed all this for the game, but I like to be prepared.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
That being said, after all that, it still scared the shit out of me. No way am I fucking playing this alone. Not
Will you
even in
put the
VR.
Will you put the VR on? Even if we're
I-
all there with you?
He has to.
You
I
have
have
We're
to.
doing
his
this
idea.
challenge 10
Rules
minutes.
are rules.
You
I
know,
like the challenge. I like this challenge. Yeah.
if
this
I'm gonna
sounds
die of a
good.
heart attack, I'll go out having a good time. So sure, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to get Ant's opinion on the game, what he thought of it about it too, since you watched
Ant.
it.
I think it takes you into different realms. It takes you into another level that you're not really expecting. And in that whole aspect, we're just seeing the beginning of it. It leads you to get immersed, be freaked out about what's about to happen, what is currently happening, processing what happened,
Shit happens.
and then
Yeah, when that dude gets in the car
Things go down.
and runs you over.
Yeah, it chases you around a
Inside of
2-car
a building.
garage.
That's the weirdest thing is
Fuck.
because in the human condition, you're constantly processing what happened before. So what's cool about that game is in that, especially if you did it on VR, your senses are immersed. So your sympathetic nervous system is still blazing,
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to come down after driving that X-wing.
Yeah. And so you're like, fuck, what just happened? Oh shit, now I got to deal with this?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. But at the same time, I'm looking at the scenery and I'm like, dude, I would just fucking
break open that boarded window and get the fuck out of that house.
Oh, I know. You've got like this really shitty, like garden grade stuff covering the windows, like
Like
a
you can't
garden
pick up that
fence
nightstand
or
and
something.
fucking throw it through the window and jump out. Why wouldn't
There's no light
there's no
pouring
command
into
for
this
that?
house at all. It's just completely black, and it looks like it just has been sitting there.
Now, do you
for
think it's a
ages.
total rip-off of PT or what? Because I do.
And see, that's the thing. You kept on mentioning PT throughout the entire time, and I don't think it's. It's like I like PT. I think the vibe is different because Resident Evil 7 was
PT
more
was
of just
creepier.
like. PT was a little bit creepier because of the fact that you're going through the same process over and over. You're going down the hallway
With
over
slight
and over.
differences every time you walk down
But
that
the thing
hallway.
is that with this guy that was following you in the game with Resident Evil 7, I didn't expect him to freaking go through the wall. I didn't
Oh my
expect.
God.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You didn't
that's
I didn't
Expect him to go
expect
through the wall
him.
the second
I didn't
time
expect him to rip off the hood of a car, get in the driver's seat, go whoa boy, and just fucking start doing donuts in the
Inside
goddamn garage.
of a garage.
Get all Dukes of Hazzard on your ass.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
like, what kind of damage could he really do inside of a small
Yeah.
garage with this car?
you know, hiding
But
from
no,
a
he kills you.
a lot.
It's
lot.
basically like
It's
a
a
lot
lot.
of hiding. You're hiding from a very like crazy looking old woman who's looking around for you,
Yeah.
and
And your own girlfriend, apparently.
It's like,
oh god, I mean,
I-
we all, especially me, I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? Like, oh,
Why is
oh!
she gutting me with a chainsaw right now? I
So,
thought she was
I
cool
wanna-
a
I
minute
Thought
definitely-
ago.
we were cool. Yeah, I thought we were cool.
I definitely, I'm psyched to play more of it. I haven't really had a chance to, but so far I give it 2 thumbs up. I think
Two
it's
thumbs.
it's like
5
one
out of 5 stars.
Yeah, because the horror effect of it is just amazing right now.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
I was like cursing out loud like every scene.
no, if we're wearing it
Holy
for
shit!
VR,
No,
it's
it
gonna
was
be a
exciting.
fun experience.
I wasn't expecting that one guy to be totally immortal. Like once that giant metal beam went through his face, I was like, okay, cool, we're good.
And they burned alive.
But just kidding.
I knew it. I knew he was coming
You're
back.
nowhere safe. You're nowhere safe.
His
so.
name is literally Immortal something. Like it's like a really generic name with
Daddy.
Immortal Jethro.
Daddy. His name is Daddy.
He's
Big
some
Daddy.
backwoods redneck too. That makes it even creepier.
That's what
Yeah.
makes the Texas Chainsaw thing, because it's like you're in a house full of these crazy people,
family,
and
yeah.
like, you know, you're sitting at a dinner table and one guy just is like grabs the other guy's arm, chops off. He's like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah.
The
While they're
woman in the
feeding you a table full
wheelchair-
of intestines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The woman in the wheelchair who keeps like moving locations without like you really
Yeah.
knowing. And like suddenly like there's an old woman in the wheelchair just in the corner of a different room and you're like, oh fuck, Jesus.
How did she get there? Yeah.
That's all really just the intro to it too, because once you get through that main door, it's like bam, you're back in another mansion, and
And
it's
here's
like,
I don't
the
even
bigger
think you
house.
It
guys
keeps getting
saw
bigger, you
the
know?
first
Yeah, it
time
feels
that you got
exactly
your
like Resident
your
Evil.
arm cut off with an axe, and you still have to play with missing a hand.
Yeah, you guys missed that,
yeah, you have
basically.
to go
The
like pick
fuck?
it up and like heal yourself.
Yeah, you can
and, like,
pick up your hand and put it in
Yeah.
your inventory.
losing limbs is a game mechanic.
It
That's
is,
really new.
'cause on one of the playthroughs, you lost your leg and you had to go pick it up, and then
And
I don't know what was
staple it
going to
back
happen
on.
after that, but
Anytime.
like you died before you could really
Yeah.
get to it. But
Yeah, he puts
things go bad
the
real
first
quick.
aid spray on the floor
Yeah,
for
that
you.
Neosporin
So he's like,
that
you
I'm
better
know what's
get
going
it.
on. I'm like, is he
Damn,
gonna
that's
kill
right.
him?
Come on.
So I definitely am. I'm very excited to do this VR test.
All right, we'll do it. All right, so we'll
Crazy.
report back. That sounds like there's a part 2 in our future. We
And
got to
the
go
movie,
see.
and you guys
we got to
gotta
go
see
see
the
the new
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
We got to play the VR test. Okay, I like this. We got some.
Yeah, it sounds like a
Let's do
challenge.
this.
What are we gonna do though? Who wins? I don't know who's gonna be a winner.
Who's
We'll figure
who
it
lasts
out.
10
We-
minutes?
we'll hash
find out
out
who
who
the
lasts
has
10
the
details.
full time?
Who can do the
I
10
can see
minutes
Ben like pounding
without
Xanax, going,
freaking
"All right,
out."
all right, I'm done. I'm done after like a minute."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like,
well, people
dude,
will
I'm about
tap
to have a
out
heart attack.
eventually,
I gotta
and,
tap out.
you know, we'll have a competition where it'll get down to 2 or 3 people just being like,
Yeah.
I can do this. I could do this.
Not
So
me.
we should do something like if you can't last 10 minutes, you're eliminated from the next round.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. One man,
Great. I
like
one
this.
man leaves. Yeah, exactly. All right,
5
well,
men enter, no men leave.
I think this is good. Are we all? Anything else about Resident Evil? You got to say.
We covered the
Get it
games
off
and
your
we covered the
chest.
movies and the
It's
books.
One of the
Um,
greatest zombie.
I think
horror
it's I think
series
it's
of all time, right?
stapled its name into the main genre for survival horror.
Yeah.
It's probably the most popular one besides Silent Hill.
It's
and
It's definitely the most
granddaddy.
quality.
And I
Yeah.
think with this new game, it's opened up a big door to again to survival horror, because what we've been having lately from Resident Evil has just been nothing but action
right
based
Gets back
horror.
into
It's
horror
like
now. Yeah.
you know, so now you're in a new element, and we've all seen it. It freaked us all out.
Doesn't feel very Resident Evil to me. We haven't seen hide nor hair of Umbrella yet.
We haven't. We only played the. We only
No, but I think we're going
scratched
to
the
see.
surface.
It does
yeah.
feel more like
Monsters
Silent
soon
Hill
enough.
to me.
Yeah, we'll see some monsters pretty soon. All right, we'll table this until next time. I think we got to wrap it up here. I'm Charlie.
I'm Ben.
We got J-Man.
I'm J-Man.
We got the
Trash
Carls.
Carls.
Yo.
All right, thanks you guys for joining us. This is Hops and Monsters. Find us online. We'll find you.
Hops
Good night.
and monsters.
What a-